Hey guys, Ryan Wright here. Today I'm going to be going over my top 10 favorite movies of 2014. Right off the bat, I want to establish that this is my list. I haven't seen every movie of the year, but from the movies I've seen, these have become my favorites. If your movies are not on this list, no reason to call me a faggot. Just understand, you have your opinion and I have my opinion. Simple as that. For starters, number 10, I would have to say Captain America the Winter Soldier. Captain America the Winter Soldier was way better than the first one. It's a great spy espionage thriller. I really like Chris Evans' performances. I liked Anthony Mackie. I thought there was a lot of clever things about it. The Winter Soldier villain could have been developed a little bit more, but other than that, it was a fantastic Marvel film, and I think it's one of the better ones and one of the more dark, serious ones. Number 9, Guardians of the Galaxy. If you want to talk about pure entertainment, Guardians of the Galaxy is the one. It is filled with a ton of action, visuals, fantastic acting, and Rocket Raccoon has gotta be my favorite character of the year. And not to mention, it's the funniest Marvel movie we've ever had. Number 8 would have to be Noah. I've seen a lot of different interpretations of the Noah story. I've even read the comic book Bible at one point in my life. That's how educated I am. And I saw the Jon Voight version. Evan Almighty, whatever. This film I thought was a great character-driven piece. It had a haunting atmosphere. It felt like a fresh take on the Noah story, offered new things to it. I know they added some stuff, but it worked in the film. The performances were great. Darren Aronofsky's direction was awesome. It managed to still honor its religious themes without being preachy about it. Darren Aronofsky, you know how to depress people. I'm so proud of you. Number 7 would have to be Gone Girl. If you don't like your spouse, this is the movie for you. I like my spouse, so I couldn't completely relate, but it's a good film. Ben Affleck's fantastic. David Fincher has his awesome direction again with a great cinematography backing it up. Most important to me, Rosamund Pike. Best performance from an actress I've seen all year. Was one of the best performances I've seen in general, male and female. They are equal. Number 6 would have to be John Wick. That's a character-driven action piece. You know, I mean, it's not like a shit ton of character, but there's just enough. It's a welcome return for Keanu Reeves. It's one of his better performances. The action in it is awesome, and the criminal underworld I thought was very unique. I love the Continental. It was an awesome fucking film to watch, and it was funny. Hands down, one of the best times I had at the theaters, and features some of the best kills of the year. Number 5 would have to be The Raid 2 Barandal or whatever. It's an Indonesian action film. I love the first Raid. The second one blew me away. It took what was like a 90-minute action movie, and then with the sequel expanded it into it reminds me of The Dark Knight, how they had a story about Batman, then they took The Dark Knight and made it a crime ensemble, and that's what this one did. It made it a crime ensemble. There's a lot of story in it, a lot of dialogue, but when the action's there, it's more motivated than ever because of the story they're providing, and the story was great. And the action, everyone knows, if you've seen the first Raid or even just the fight scene, it is very unique, still very violent, and beautiful to look at the same time. Raid 2 would have to be one of the best action films I've ever seen. Number 4 would be the Lego Movie. Instantly, while watching this film, I knew it was gonna be one of my favorite animated movies ever. I didn't have too much anticipation for it, but while I was watching it, couldn't believe it. It's incredibly inventive, beautiful to look at, and it's really fucking funny. You'll have a great time watching it. It's like cinematic escapism at its best. Number 3 would have to be X-Men Days of Future Past. X-Men 2 is still my favorite X-Men movie, but right behind it would have to be X-Men Days of Future Past. I know it's some people's favorite overall. I really admire this film a lot. I respect what it accomplished so much. You got this dream ensemble together, and there was so much pressure behind it, but it knew which characters to really focus on, and the characters that didn't get as much focus, they still got their time to shine, and it was just a fantastic, fun film, and it had surprises. By the time it ended, it was a great way to revamp the series. And how can you forget Quicksilver, man? Evan Peters, he's great. He's so good, and he's great at playing creepy people in American Horror Story. So that's a plus. Number 2 would have to be Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. I love this film. I considered it being my number 1, but at the end of the day, it's number 2. Ha, number 2, like poop. stupid. The apes are all CGI, but I fucking bought it the whole time. I was never distracted. The ape characters were all fucking great. The companionship of the humans and the apes, and then the humans versus the apes. Like, it's a story not about good and bad. It's a story just about survival. Like, all these characters believe they're doing what's right for them. It's a fantastic fucking film, and it has the prequel ingredient that I admire most, which is, you know, the outcome of the end of this story. Like, you know the apes are gonna fucking win. It's called Planet of the Apes. But you completely are not aware of that while you're watching this film. You're just engrossed in everything that's going on, that you kind of don't even want the outcome you know that's going to happen. You kind of don't want it to happen. And it's so cool when a prequel manages to accomplish that. X-Men First Class did that with the X-Men series. I feel like Dawn of the Planet of the Apes did that for the Planet of the Apes series. Number one, right after I was done watching it, I was pretty much certain it was gonna be my number one movie, Edge of Tomorrow. It is the definition of cinematic escapism. I can't fucking say escapism today. Pure entertainment. It is just a fucking blast. I love movies that just make you just have a great fucking time. You know, it's a sci-fi story. I love sci-fi. I still feel sci-fi is underrated because that's when writing is really at its most inventive, is sci-fi or fantasy. You're going through complete fiction, and the sci-fi in it, it's great. The action is fantastic. The visuals are great to look at. Great direction, awesome writing. The cinematography was excellent. Everything about it. It was a very inventive story too. And the performances by Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt were awesome. Number one thing I really admire about this film actually was that it was really funny. I wasn't expecting it to be funny. And the funny stuff doesn't distract. It doesn't seem out of place for this film. It actually adds to the film a lot. And there's some great twists and turns. The ending, I'm still kind of confused about, but still, it's a fantastic film. Hands down, number one favorite film of the year. Anyway, guys, there's other films I know didn't make the list. Like, there's some ones I was contemplating, like Godzilla, Neighbors, How to Train Your Dragon 2, even RoboCop. Very underrated film. That's my top 10 that I narrowed it down to. What is your guys' top 10? List them below and let me know. It's a ripoff of Jeremy Johns, who says, comment below and let me know. I'm going to say, list them below and let me know. Ha, Jeremy. Stealing. If you guys are new to the channel, you can subscribe to The Real Rejects. We got a lot of shit on here. And all these movies I've actually done reviews on. So you can check out my Straight to the Point show. And on our trailer reaction review show, we're going to be doing shout outs again. So go to facebook.com/TheReelRejects shoutouts, where you can earn yourself a shout out from this hunky donkey hung like a monkey's giant cousin's ass? I don't know.